Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Stringbean's and the Boardwalk Social Club Saturday afternoon concert series. We started this in March of last year, continuing throughout the pandemic. Anyway, every week we make a theme, and this week is the theme is Texas blues from Texas. There's a lot of good blues men from Texas. A surprising amount of blues guys are Texas blues guys. So I've done a couple like regions of, Delta Blues episode, and then we had the North Mississippi Hill Country Blues episode, Chicago Blues, Piedmont Blues, Sonny Terry and Brian McGee, New York City Blues. Anyway, this week is Texas Blues. Texas Blues started with acoustic guys, the first being Blind Lemon Jefferson and Blind, the other blind guy, Blind Willie Johnson. Most Texas blues is guitar-based thing, like it's almost all guitar, very little, not much harmonica, and it's not much slide guitar. But anyway, Blind Willie Johnson. Here we do a couple of his songs. I decided I'm going to do this one, "Soul of a Man," which was on our gospel record. Somebody tell me, answer if you can. Won't somebody tell me just what is the soul of a man? I'm gonna ask the question, answer if you can. Anybody surely can tell what is the soul of a man? Been to the far off country, been to the far off land. Nobody there could tell what is the soul of a man. Read the Bible often, I try to read it right, as far as I can understand. There ain't nothing but a burning light. Somebody tell me, answer if you can. Won't somebody tell me what is the soul of a man? Soul of a Man by Blind Willie Johnson. Yeah, the acoustic guys were Blind Lemon Jefferson, Blind Willie Johnson, and Leadbelly. But most Texas blues is electric guitar. Most of the famous, there's so many Texas blues guys. Albert King, Freddie King, Johnny Copeland, Billy Gibbons, T-Bone Walker, Johnny Winter, Stevie Ray Vaughan, probably the biggest Texas blues guy, the biggest hero of Texas blues. Anyway, what's next? Yeah, my favorite Texas blues guy might be Lightnin' Hopkins. Lightnin' Hopkins was also acoustic guy half the time, electric the other. He played by himself. He was a unique blues guy. You know, he could carry the whole thing by himself. Once in a while, he had a lot of records, like 50 of them. Some of them would have a small band, like some of the best ones were just him and a snare drum. I love them. Maybe the best one was Mojo Hanged. There were so many records, so many Lightning Hopkins albums. He was one of those guys that would just go in and record for, demand to be paid on the spot, and then whatever happened to it after that, he didn't care about what the record company did with it. But Katie May, that's my favorite song by him, covered by the Grateful Dead, sung by Pigpen. A lot of people know it from that. Anyway, I was going to do that one, but I wound up writing a new Texas blues song in the style of Lightning Hopkins. So maybe I'll do that one at the end. Next, who's next? Oh, Clarence Gatemouth Brown. He was an interesting blues guy from Texas. Played electric guitar, but also the fiddle, and was the band leader. Here's a song by Clarence Gatemouth Brown. I'll play just on harmonica. Oh, boogie real fast. Gotta boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. You gotta boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. Everybody's in a hurry, ain't got nowhere to go. Everybody's in a hurry, ain't got nowhere to go. Everybody's in a hurry, ain't got nowhere to go. Gotta boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. You better not boogie slow. Gotta boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. Everybody's in a hurry, ain't got nowhere to go. Boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. Boogie real fast, you better not boogie slow. Everybody's in a hurry, ain't got no way to go. Thanks everybody. Clarence Gatemouth Brown. I saw him when I was in high school. I went to a blues festival with some of my high school friends at where was it? Waterloo Village. Anyway, I was lucky enough to see Muddy Waters under a big tent, and then Clarence Gatemouth Brown was playing on one of the smaller stages. I remember standing there with, I think, Sean Hanlon went, and Steve Heath, Gavin Egbert, Paul Johnson. My friends from high school, they're all blues fans. Thanks to my friend's older brother, Stuart Heath, had a big record collection and knew all about blues. And he taught us a lot about the roots of, if he said, oh, you like this one, then you should go back and listen to that one, Oops. Kings, Albert King. He's great. You know, he was a big influence on Stevie Ray Vaughan. Smoked a pipe. Clarence Gate Meth Brown, he smoked a pipe too. They're both pipe smokers. So, one of my favorite Texas blues guys is Johnny Winter from Beaumont, Texas. Johnny Winter's he's one of my favorite blues guys. From his first record, Progressive Blues Experiment, to his last. I saw Johnny Winter many, many times, so probably more than any other blues guy. I would come around. I would see him every time he came around. Even, you know, he was always my favorite blues guy since the time he recorded those Muddy Waters albums, when he produced those 3 Muddy Waters albums. Those are great. That was his prime. You know, Johnny Winter's best album, I think, was Nothing But the Blues. But he had a lot of good records. I think this one is, maybe it's from John Dawson Winter III. Mojo. I got my mojo in my pocket. Got my mojo in my pocket. I got my pistol in my hand. I've been searching, I've been wondering, but I just don't understand. I've been looking for a new girl that don't have no number. Yeah, the full moon is rising and the rain is falling down. I've been searching, I've been hunting, but she ain't nowhere around. I'm in a bad luck situation. I gotta track my baby down. Got my mojo in my pocket. Got my pistol in my hand. I've been searching, I've been hunting, and I just don't understand. I'm in a bad luck situation. I gotta track my baby down. Johnny Winter song. Yeah, I stuck with Johnny Winter even when he's having some rough patches. I would go to see him no matter what. I'm pretty loyal to my blues heroes. I don't care if they're getting old or whatever. Johnny Winter was he was a great guitar player and singer. Always happy to see him. All right. What else? So many blues guys from Texas. Texas is in the news for having a cold snap. Freezing cold in Texas. Texas has got great musicians, but terrible politicians. The worst. Think of the terrible politicians that came out of Texas. I don't know. They can't undo the good of all the musicians, but they certainly try. Yeah, once we played in Texas with the Surreal McCoys. We played at the South by Southwest thing that they have in Austin. That was a good experience. Austin was, I like the city of Austin. But a city like Beaumont, Texas, where Johnny Winter came from, I think also she should count as a blues. Janis Joplin, she's a Texas blues singer. But they were both from the town of Beaumont, which is not a nice place. It looks like the New Jersey Turnpike. A lot of these guys got out of Texas as soon as they could. They would go to Austin first and then California or somewhere else. But Austin's a nice city. There's a bridge, I guess it's the San Antonio River. So there's a bridge that goes across the river that accidentally they built it to be perfect for bats to roost in. They like these slats underneath the bridge that were like just small enough for a bat to crawl in, and then there's room for them to nest inside. So it attracted all the bats from the area. So at sunset, people would gather to go and watch the bats hunting mosquitoes off the river, and then go back to their little bat roosts. That's pretty cool. I like the city of Austin. And the National Park, Big Bend, that seems like a cool place. The rest of Texas. Alright, here's one by Stevie Ray Vaughan, the king of Texas blues, I would say, a big hero in Texas. Very influential guitar player. There are still guys copying Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's for sure. One of the things he did was tune down his guitar a half a step to make strings easier to bend. I think he got that from Albert King. So, yeah, for all those years when Stevie Ray Vaughan was popular, every guitar player did that. It made it kind of a pain for harmonica players to sit in, because you'd have to have all these weird keys, A flat and all these keys that you would never use otherwise. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, I was happy to see him many times too, from like the beginning of his career to a week before he died. I saw him at the Art Center. Many times I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was popular with the guys that I worked with, guys on boats. At the pilots, there's a lot of pilots that are fans of Stevie Ray Vaughan, so I saw him with some of those guys. So I saw him at Carnegie Hall. And then some small places at the Stone Pony on New Year's Eve, 1989 maybe, right when he got sober. That made a big impression. And one of the times we saw him, they used to have these concerts on the pier in New York City, the passenger ship terminals, and it was the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother's band, Jimmy Vaughan, opened for Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I was still an apprentice, and we borrowed one of the pilot boats. I guess the statute of limitations is how I can say this now. Yeah, we stole a motorboat, and Joe Dugan, another apprentice, and I went to the Stevie Ray Vaughan Fabulous Thunderbirds concert by boat and snuck in. And I think there was another pilot there. Pete Haley was there. I think his friends were the roadies. They drove the truck for Stevie Ray Vaughan. Anyway, it was a great concert. One of the most memorable is they used to do this thing. Jimmy Vaughan and Stevie Ray Vaughan played a double neck guitar. One would stand behind the other and play the rhythm part while the other guy played the lead, both on one guitar, which was a real showstopper. So, yeah, I remember Joe Dugan wanted to, protect the motorboat. He didn't go to the concert part. He just stayed and watched the boat where it was tied up. When I got back, there was a keg keg of beer on it, and like 20 people at Joe's like leading the big keg party. All right, enough about me. Here's a Stevie Ray Vaughan hit. I think it was written by Buddy Guy. You know, I think Buddy Guy might have sat in that night too. Yeah, Buddy Guy was there too. Yeah, that was a great one. Another time it was Johnny Winter opening up for the fabulous Thunderbirds. Anyway, that was a good concert too. They used to have a lot of great shows on the pier in New York City. Anyway, here's a Stevie Ray Vaughan song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, her face was white as snow. Everywhere that child went, the lamb was sure to go. She followed her to school, broke the teacher's rule. What time did it head? Casket, yellow basket, sent a letter to my baby. On my way I passed it. Stevie Ray Vaughan, great Texas blues man. Happy to see him a bunch of times. What else? Freddie King, he was a great one. Freddie King, we do some Freddie King songs. I learned one for the occasion. Going Down is one that is like a popular Jersey Shore blues thing, big hit for Billy Hector. Dave Myers played it with the Blackberry Blues Band with Paul Dickler. Going Down is a big local. When Stevie Ray Vaughan toured with Jeff Beck, they played this one together for the encore. Play. Going Down by Freddie King. Yeah, Freddie King was a great blues guy, very influential. Just as instrumental as, Hideaway. That one. Yeah, a lot of bands played that as their opening number, a lot of blues bands, many. Johnny Winter, Muddy Waters band, they used to all play it first, their first opening song, Hideaway. Yeah, he had one great record on a lot of good albums, but the best one was on Shelter Records, Leon Russell's label. Going Down was on that. I think that's why so many, younger rock bands started doing it. That album was a big hit, as far as blues albums go, Yeah, Shelter. I think it was called Shelter. Anyway, he was a big influence on Eric Clapton and surprisingly Jerry Garcia. I read an interview with Jerry Garcia and he said that Freddie King was his electric blues influence. And then when I listened to it after that, I could hear it. I could hear the note bending thing that they both do. So many other guys like Albert King. And then Albert Collins, he was also a really unique blues guy. He played with a minor key tuning, open F minor key tuning, and then the capo was like on the 5th fret, so he would just have like this much of the neck to work with. That's the big Albert Collins lick. He did that a lot. Yeah, I loved Albert Collins too. He was great. I was lucky to see all these guys. Albert King I saw at the Benson Hedges Blues Festival. He's another one that had the long cord thing, walked out into the crowd. Johnny Copeland, he's another Texas blues guy I was lucky to meet a couple of times, And he also played at that Benson Hedges Blues thing. I met him when Dave Mars was booking the deck house and had all these national blues acts there. It was great. Anyway, Johnny Copeland was a nice guy, tough guy. I think he used to be a boxer before he was a blues man. A lot of these guys had other jobs. And had to stick with him. Like Albert Collins, he was a truck driver, bus driver. He drove the tour bus and fixed the tour bus. Yeah, ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons. They're a great Texas blues band, blues guys. Sim and I saw them at the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank. We had really good seats. That was a real lesson in how a trio that's played together for 50 years, they can really, they play together so well that I'm sure they were great. I love ZZ Top. And that guitar player, he's a real blues aficionado. He knows everything there is about blues, If you read any interviews with him, he really knows his stuff. But there's a story of when he sat in with Lightnin' Hopkins at a small club in Texas, and then they're maybe during the break or afterwards, they were sitting around a small table like this, and somebody said, that sounded great. How did you feel? And Billy Gibbons said, "Oh, it was good, but I didn't always know when Lightnin' Hopkins was going to change chords. Sometimes I missed it." And Lightnin' Hopkins said, "Lightning changes when lightning feels like changing," which meant that he didn't play by the normal rules of blues, like 12-bar blues, or going from the 1 to the 4. Sometimes he did it, sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he would do it when he was supposed to, sometimes later. He's a very free, loose blues guy. Lightning Hawkins. He's like John Lee Hooker in that respect. You know, they were very loose with the rules of blues. You know, blues is very constrictive. You know, kind of disciplined. Limitations. There's limitations, but they didn't always follow them. They were really loose about it. Even with rhyming lyrics, often they didn't bother to make lyrics rhyme. Lightning Hopkins, I loved him. Oh, anyway, maybe I'll do my Lightning Hopkins song. Here, this is a new song. This is a blues song I wrote for the occasion. Because Texas has been in the news. This is about Texas blues. Here's a song written in the style of Lightning Hopkins, who sometimes mentioned weather events or current events in his songs. I don't know what the title on this one is. Maybe Lone Star Politicians. Oops, wrong key harping. All right. This will sound better. It's frozen down in Texas. The weather sure is strange. It's frozen down in Texas. Yeah, the weather sure did turn strange. Lone Star politicians don't believe in climate change. 9 below zero, dangerous in the wind chill. Lady took out 9 below zero. Too dangerous from the wind chill. The governor of Texas, he blamed it all on the windmill. Senator from Texas, he flew and fled to Mexico. Senator from Texas flew and fled to Mexico. Lone Star politicians, they get their checks from Texaco. Frozen down in Texas, yeah, the weather sure is strange. Texas. Yeah, the weather is sure strange. Lone Star politician don't believe in climate change. Here's my new song, Texas Blues song, as written by Eastern Elite. Texas. Yeah, I don't know about Texas as a state. I suppose it's getting better. A red state with a lot of people from California, a lot of Californians are starting to move into Texas, changing the demographics of the state. I was thinking, if half the population of California moved to Texas, both states would be much better places to live. And the whole country would be better, wouldn't it? If Texas was a state that cared about climate change or just whatever. They just have the worst politicians, the worst. The governor, the senator, another blues guy from Texas that I really like, a new younger guy, Gary Clark Jr. I'm also a big fan of him. Seen him a bunch of times. Yeah, he's great. I think he's the best young blues guy around. Gary Clark Jr. His first two records were really good. Now they're a little kind of slickly overproduced, but his live shows are great. I would see him anytime. Anytime he comes around, I'd see Gary Clark Jr. I'm a big fan. He's probably the best new blues guy around, I think. Definitely the best guitar player. He's another Austin guy, lives in Austin. Yeah, also when I went to Austin, I went to this place, Antone's, which is like the blues capital of Austin. It's a club very similar to Stone Pony, it's about the same size and layout, really. But it's a blues place, everybody's played there. Antone's has a pretty storied history. If it wasn't for Antone's, there would be no Stevie Ray Vaughan or Fabulous Thunderbirds. That was the place. Antone, I think it was built with smuggling money. I guess that's probably the only way you could stay in business. But I was very, very happy to make my pilgrimage to Antone's. And who did I see that night? It was some of the guys from Fabulous Thunderbirds. Yeah, I think they're a great band too. Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother, and Kim Wilson, they started that band. I love the Fabulous Thunderbirds too. Kim Wilson, I think, is the best living harmonica player. Again, we were lucky to meet him, play with him. He's really supportive of us, flattering, nice things to say about us. We did this benefit for Kid Ramos, West Coast guitar player, and it was all these great harp players did it. Kim Wilson. And anyway, there was a show the night before, that we did together, and like a dinner thing. So we got to hang out with him for a long time. And yeah, he's the best harmonica player, I'd say. Great, great harp player. Oh, you know what else is? He was the last guy that I saw before this whole thing started. He played at McLuhan's in Asbury Park on Friday the 13th, March 13th, the start of this whole pandemic thing. We finished the gig at Kaya's, and then I went over there and watched him. It's funny, it was the start of this, and people were still shaking hands, and a couple days later, everything had changed. But anyway, Kim Wilson on his last blues concert show I got to see. So I'm talking about Kim Wilson, and Gary Clark Jr. City, Gary Clark Jr. Yeah, so many guys from Texas. Okay, that's probably it. That should do it. Really, I could have done like 2 episodes on Texas blues guys. So many of them. We do so many other songs. That's okay. You know, what's left? What other regions? California, West Coast blues. That jump style blues with George Harmonica Smith and Junior Watson and Hollywood Fats. Maybe I'll do one on that. And then one on the Jersey Shore. The unique blues scene of the Jersey Shore, starring Billy Hector and Sonny Ken, Dave Myers, Billy Ryan, Paul Whistler, Miami Steve, Southside Johnny. Yeah, that'll be a good episode. What else about Texas? Deep Ellum Blues. We play a song. That's a song about a bad neighborhood in Texas that I hear is being gentrified. Deep Ellum Blues. There's a couple Texas blues songs about bad neighborhoods. Stevie Ray Vaughan has one too. That's the roughest place I've ever seen. Yeah, Deep Ellum Blues. Oh, there's also a great record on Alligator Records, Showdown. It was called, with three Texas blues guys, Albert Collins, Johnny Copeland, and Robert Craze on that one too. That was maybe the Alligator Records' biggest selling record. Alligator's the longest lasting blues label, and we're the second. Blues Leaf is the second longest running blues label. Usually they go out of business or they get bought up by a bigger company. Alligator and Blues Leaf are hanging in there. Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening to my episode on Texas Blues. My new song about Texas blues called Lone Star Politicians, or maybe Frozen Down in Texas. There was Texas flood. It's flooding down in Texas. Yeah, Albert Collins, all of his songs were named after coal. His record Cold Snapped, or Frosty was his big instrumental. Everything is ice, you know. I guess for his tone, biting, cold, icy tone. Albert Collins, yeah, he was ahead of his time with all the ice in Texas. Okay, thanks for listening again. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 11, WPIX, Stringbean, and the Boardwalk Social Club Saturday afternoon concert series, episode 48. Yes, maybe it'll be a whole year, maybe on March 20th or so. Full year of doing this every Saturday. Amazing. Anyway, happy to be doing it. Gives me something to work towards. It's funny how I've written a couple songs as a result, not really meaning to. Sometimes I try to learn one, you know, for the occasion if it's about, you know, some topic, and then I wind up writing one as a result of learning another one. Yeah, I like my new song. Senator from Texas flew and fled to Mexico. fled cruise. All right, here's my last song of the afternoon called We Have a Nice Way of Closing. Thanks again. listening.